Hey, welcome in. Well, this story is a great example of how Orwellian the left has become and how Orwellian leftist institutions have become. Here's the headline. American Booksellers Association implements new oversight to prevent accidentally promoting authors like Candace Owens. And underneath it says, it was a terrible mistake with terrible racist implications. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with Candace Owens, right? I'm a Candace Owens fan. I think she's brilliant, courageous, and the idea that she's racist against herself, I guess, is, well, you'd have to be, I guess a moron to think that. You'd have to be delusional. Apparently some people think so. But anyway, this American Booksellers Association, I guess it accidentally promoted Candace Owens, and there's a big uproar about that. And this is the Daily Wire, by the way. So as they previously reported, the American Booksellers Association, a 121-year-old trade association that ostensibly advocates for free expression and independent bookstores, sends out book lists and review copies of select new titles for retailers to consider stocking. Let's see, in July, the organization mistook a social justice-themed teen romance called Blackout for Candace Owens' best-selling book, Blackout: How Black America Can Make Its Second Escape from the Democratic Plantation, sending out a cover image of Owens' book to approximately 750 stores. The group also included publicity copies of Abigail Shrier's Irreversible Damage, a work critical of the gender transition trend among teen girls. So there was a big fuss about this amongst left-wing shop owners, obviously, because they saw something they don't agree with, and that's really, really bad. Let's see, the ABA CEO immediately apologized for the horrific harm the mailing caused, calling it a serious, violent incident. So people seeing the cover of Candace Owens' book was horrific harm and a serious, violent incident. That sounds like the rantings of a lunatic. She also described Owens' book as racist, because everything that they don't agree with is, of course. So, but in any case, the horrific harm here and the serious violent incident, it was that some people saw Candace Owens' book. They saw the cover of her book. And don't forget that the American Booksellers Association is supposed to advocate for free expression. Well, I took a look at their website, and I found this. This is the American Booksellers Association. This is their website. Here's the page called Free Expression. It says the American Booksellers Foundation for Free Expression is the bookseller's voice in the fight against censorship. The fight against censorship. Let's see. The mission is to promote and protect the free exchange of ideas, particularly those contained in books, by opposing restrictions on the freedom of speech. So remember at the beginning where I said that everything on the left is Orwellian these days? Okay, so here they have their free expression page on the American Booksellers Association. They have a foundation for free expression to protect free speech against censorship and to promote and protect the free exchange of ideas. Because that sure doesn't sound like what they're doing here. Because here they're saying that just seeing the cover of a book that they disagree with is horrific harm and a serious violent incident. That doesn't sound like they care about free speech to me. Let's see, they assured retailers that they're putting new procedures in place to prevent future similar mistakes. So to prevent free speech, I guess, right? To prevent not censoring. I don't know about you, but these things seem kind of diametrically opposed to me, putting new procedures in place, essentially just to censor ideas they don't like, but then also saying that they're fighting against censorship and fighting to promote and protect the free exchange of ideas. They don't sound like the same thing at all, do they? In fact, it makes this organization sound like schizophrenic lunatics to me. So let's see here. On August 5th, the ABA released the findings of its internal audit and updated members on how plans for their new diversity, equity, and inclusion process are progressing. Or their demonization of everything that isn't far left program, I guess. So it says here that a fill-in staffer picked the wrong image, picked a Candace Owens book instead of the one they were supposed to do, and it wasn't double-checked, and then the violent incident happened of people seeing something that they didn't like. That is literally how they think. I mean, they're telling us this. Just seeing something that they disagree with is violence to them. They're telling us openly. Let's see. It says here the employees are very apologetic and very committed to vigilance going forward. They have been held accountable and have agreed to training. Always training. Struggle sessions, maybe, both on procedures as well as DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we have added layers of checks and balances to this process. So they've agreed to brainwashing, I guess, or re-education. And of course, the irony is so rich in this. So their equity and inclusion policy requires that all ABA procedures be anti-racist. So not just not racist, you have to be actively anti that, which in practice seems to be the opposite of what they call it. Like pretty much everything the left pushes is the opposite of what they call it, but whatever. But it has to be that, and has to demonstrate support for marginalized peoples. Well, wait a second. By their own standards, isn't Candace Owens a marginalized person? I know she wouldn't refer to herself that way, but by their definition, oh, I forgot, it only works if they have the exact same ideology as them. So if you disagree with them on anything, you're no longer marginalized. So, LeBron James, billionaire, marginalized. Candace Owens, wrong ideas, not marginalized. That is literally how their logic works. And then they go through the list of everybody they consider to be marginalized. Marginalized authors. Are they not marginalizing Candace Owens by refusing to have anything to do with her book? I mean, isn't that marginalizing her? Again, none of it makes sense. None of their ideology makes sense. It's all just about what kind of feels right. And if anything disagrees with that in the moment, well, that's violence. And there's a whole list of things that they're going to do now at this American Booksellers Association to, I guess, repent for the violence. And keep in mind, this is all because 750 bookstore owners accidentally saw a copy of the cover of Candace Owens' book. But for the time being, I guess they can sit back and enjoy their marginalization of a black female author for some reason. I guess because they're insane. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast, Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.